Move! Criminal Affairs! February 24, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. No, it means they're on holiday. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. That guy. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Chaos. Chaos on Christmas! Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers. She just told you yes. Shut up. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. He just said no. February 24, Police Department Chief's Office. There's an organ? There's an organ? And there's like Gothic windows? What's wrong with this game? What is wrong with this game? Well, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I said that a lot. The chief's office looks like a cathedral. I mean... what is my criticism? Like, you do shocking stuff, or you do outrageous stuff just for doing outrageous... Like, this is trolling, is what this is. It's just trolling. You're doing outrageous stuff just for the sake of doing outrageous stuff. Not because it makes any sense. Not because it adds anything to the story. That doesn't add anything to the game or the story. It doesn't make sense, it doesn't increase immersion, it doesn't drive the plot, nothing. It's just there for the sake of the shock value. This is shitposting. This is trolling. It's shitposting. Like, you're just doing it for the reaction. Right? There's no reason why the chief of detectives should have, or the chief of police should have a church for an office. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I'm pretty sure you can't play organs in kindergarten. Organs are real complicated, by the way. Like this, like the keyboard, but then it's all like levers and like pistons and things. It's pretty complicated. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. Don't do that. I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? Oh, the vase thing. You see it? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Wait, the shield had a sword on it? I can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. The shield has a sword on it. Gant team picture added to the court record. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we still like to have a look around your office. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. I'm gonna break in, right? Looks like we aren't welcome. Yeah, we aren't. And you know, if you didn't play the organ, he wouldn't have noticed that we were there. So that's your fault, Emma. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Alright, now we have to figure out how to break into his office. So the shield, so that's that vase thing. Wow, hey, look at that stabby. The shield has a sword? And the sword has a broken tip? That thing doesn't have a... Oh, look, the sword goes there. The sword is missing. Okay. Metal plate, recipients, von Karma. Alright, there's a sword missing there. And then there's the there's that thing. The vase or the jar. But it's not really a jar because there's something underneath there. Like there's a hole there, so it's not really a jar. So that's been broken. Somebody got cracked on the head with this. There's also other pointy bits. And there doesn't seem to be anything strange with the people. Alright. Go back in. February 24, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Hey pal! Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather, my feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes! Edgeworth's crisis. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Nana Sky is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, But as you know, there have been lots of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe, I know it, for making enemies. Hey Dick, keep up the good work. Yes sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime, my treat. Yes sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay Dick? Yes sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Stark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me! It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget! Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fails to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. I'm not gonna show him the murder weapon right now. I'm gonna look at this. Closed. Dark serial murderer sentenced death. Victims. Trial data. Task force. See, that doesn't actually tell us anything. Oh, let me like show him that. Well, I can't show him that right now. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car's muffler. That's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick before you forget again. I'm just gonna go through this. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car, so it was an accident. An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. That's not how murderers become murderers. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, and then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then he was burying bodies, a jogger came up on the scene and he killed him as well. Finally he turned himself in. Oh. Oh, okay. He turned himself in? He accidentally hit someone. Then he killed a bunch of witnesses. And then he turned himself in. Okay, he's not a cold-blooded murderer. He's not actually a serial killer. That's not how people work, by the way. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. It's all conjecture? That's not conjecture. That's all conjecture? No, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. Oh, he didn't do it. He didn't do most of it. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. That doesn't make any sense. That's... Look, I'm like thinking, look, If this was the real world, I would say no way that happened. But because of how bad this story is written, it might possibly have happened this way in this story. Because this story is so badly written that anything is possible. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness. aka Emma. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? Oh, that's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it, inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. Did it? That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report added to the courtroom. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. So they keep showing stabbing like in the chest, in the back. But the way they draw the weapons, you wouldn't get through the ribcage like that. Like your ribcage is like a series of horizontal bones, right? To get through the ribcage, you kind of have to turn the knife in a particular direction, so you slide between your ribs. Anyway, I shouldn't teach you how to murder people. I'm just saying that the way the people are drawn, they wouldn't have died because the knife is not in the right orientation to get through the ribcage. Anyway. Switchblade knife updated in the record. The broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Well, there you have it, in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. But well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. That's not very secure. That's not how security works. Any detective can open the door? Nani? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. Don't ask him that. Why is this so stupid? Of course you'd use Goodman's ID card. Don't tell them though. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That wouldn't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Okay. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Okay, so that doesn't work. It's because the game says so. Show him that would make him change his mind. Let me present this to him. Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. Alright, he said don't do that. About that jar, I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere? Or maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives. This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the Chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? You can't do it the other way around, you have to do it this way. Oh no, you can't do it that way. Alright. Can I not? I'm trying to tell them, look, there's bloodstains on this thing. This thing clobbered someone in the head. And this used to be the chief's office. Right? There's evidence here that more than a stabbing took place. I'm trying to tell him that, but the game doesn't wanna. Okay, let me just present this as well. Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors Award Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony? They did come to you, of course, pal. I was wondering, why is the award a shield? And why is it broken? Well, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Apparently he's forgotten. And then... absolutely awful. I need to show him something to make him let us into the office. That's the only new thing. Underground parking lot. February 24, Prosecutors Office. Underground parking lot. No one's here today, not even Miss Starr. Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case, but instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. I think there's nothing else here. February 24, High Prosecutor's Office, Room 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is! It looks like he's writing something. What? What are you doing in here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm rooting for you. Your rooting is worthless. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings because of toxic masculinity. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. Sure you do. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do erases that fact. Nothing I do can erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error and my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Sure. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why? Why has it all come to this? Because you're toxic. Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. Yeah, because you're bad. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Well, stop being so bad. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists. That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seemed strange about it. Why do we have to come here to show him? Why can't we just go to Gants Office first? Okay, what is this? I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Alright. Hey Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? You're 27 and you're already tired. I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. Just let him die, Emma. Just let him die. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. That's right. That's right. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either, alright? I won't forgive you. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. Do what? This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Alright, let me keep it. Edgeworth's discarded letter of resignation, he's serious. Alright, thanks, Edgeworth. So, the game wants me to... This? This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was when the official Prosecutor's Trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award is based on.